It's Monday, not really feeling it, to be honest. But I figure that's more reason to talk about this right now. I work full time and I got, a couple of side hustles that I do outside of my 9 to 5. And that's good for pocket change, spending money or phone bill, gas money, things like that. And it consists of things that I already enjoy doing, like photography, digital multimedia, working with the party bus, event planning, things of that nature. So right now I'm kind of in that purgatory between working for self and working for others. And I want to talk about the pros and cons of both, because we currently living in a day and age where everybody's promoting this whole entrepreneurship. Be an entrepreneur, don't work for nobody else, work for yourself. And I'm all for that to an extent, but I wouldn't demonize working for others, because reality is everything has its pros and cons. And at the core of things, they both should appeal to what we consider to be the American dream, which is the pursuit of happiness and having opportunities to work your way up the economic ladder, so to speak. 5 minutes later. Alright, y'all, my bad. I'm just letting this bus run for a little minute before I take off. Yeah, I ain't even tell y'all what I was doing, what made me want to talk about this. So I'm just getting off one job and I'm heading over to the bus just to take it to the shop for some routine maintenance. But before I forget, that's pretty much where I was going with this topic. When you're young, I would suggest that you work different side jobs, even if it's for people that you know. Don't come to a job feeling like anything is beneath you, because the whole purpose is to gain experience. I've worked at the ballpark, standing out in the hot ass sun, standing out in the rain. I've worked at concerts and other events where you just gotta deal with all type of different personalities, loud, drunk, uncooperative motherfuckers. I've worked as a maintenance technician, which was really just a fancy term for a janitor or a person you call to fix random shit. But that included collecting dirty, sweaty ass gym towels. I worked as a package handler at UPS in Willow Springs, busting my ass. I've worked at FedEx and McCook as a driver, busting my ass. I've worked side hustles as a bathroom attendant for restaurants, providing fragrances and candies and mints and all that type of stuff in the bathrooms and shit. I've been a truck driver for 8 years now, so I done worked all type of miscellaneous driving jobs, delivering liquor, delivering Subway sandwiches, driving different rap artists in and out of town. And now I'm helping to run this party bus company on the side. Shout out to Lance Hall, shout out to Jessica Johnson, shout out to Ham Johnson for bringing me on board and making me part of the team. And all of these jobs and all these positions I mentioned, I never forget any of them, because like I said, I've learned something different in every job that I've had. And as a result of that, I can walk around to this day and relate to everybody, from the guest services people to the janitors, to the emergency response paramedics, whoever, to the CEOs. And I can relate to everybody because I've either been there or I'm headed there. So give me a minute, let me finish this pre-trip and I'm gonna finish talking some shit. 15 minutes later. Okay, where was I? I forgot. I didn't want to get back to talking until I got on the expressway, because this is where the traffic rants take place. I'd rather sit here and talk shit to y'all than to be cussing out traffic. That's not gonna help it move any faster. So here are the pros I can think of for working for an employer. First off, is guaranteed pay. If you're employed to do a job, you show up, you do the job, and you should expect to get paid for that. Another pro I can think of is if you're working for a large company or maybe a municipality in the public sector, it's a good chance you get some type of benefits or some type of representation, whether that's a good or a bad thing, depending on who you ask. Now, I don't think a lot of people take the time to appreciate this, but I'm gonna be frank here. When it comes to being an employee, working for somebody else, one of the biggest advantages you will have is having a shift. Meaning, whether you work part-time, 4 hours, 5 hours, whether you work full-time, 8 hours, 10, 12, 16 hours. Once you clock out, you clock out. If I'm working a 9 to 5, I have to devote my time and energy to that employer for the time that he's paying me. But if it's 5:01 and the motherfucking building catch on fire, I don't have to give a shit. Just being honest. As long as I didn't have anything to do with it. Now that may not sit well with you if you're the type to take the moral high ground about everything, but realistically, value your time. Your time and your energy are your two most valuable assets. It's the two things that you can't get back. You can make all the money you want. What good is it if you don't have time? What good is it if you don't have no fucking energy when you get off the clock? You can spend money and make it back. You can't get your time back. You can't get your energy, your vitality back. Now, if you want to talk about the cons to having an employer, to working for somebody else, The list goes on, man. I'm sure y'all can think of more reasons than I can, but just to be brief, you have somebody to answer to. Depending on what type of field you're working in, it's either gonna be a lot of ass kissing or a lot of hard work. Me, I prefer to work in the field. I prefer jobs where I can budget my own time, where I don't have somebody breathing down my neck. I don't really care for office spaces. I can do it, but I would rather not. I'm already used to working in the elements, so I don't give a fuck if it's hot outside, if it's cold outside, rain and sleet, snow. As long as I have a job that I have to get done by the end of the day and I can budget my own time and get it done, those are the type of environments where my productivity is at its highest. But it's relative. I mean, that might be somebody else's kind. They may not want to work outside. You don't have that much control over those type of circumstances as an employee. Another common complaint about being an employee is feeling like you're not being paid enough. These employers are gonna pay you what they feel the job is worth. Are there jobs that fuck over their employees? Definitely. But the way I see it, you can either go about this one or two ways, and whatever way you take is ultimately gonna decide what type of individual you are. You can search for causes or companies that place a higher value on equal outcome. That means everybody gets paid the same for different jobs, which is bullshit. Or you can start within and increase your own value with things such as credentials, experience, referrals, things of that nature, things that will make your time more valuable. So that's one of the kinds. Dealing with people that you don't want to deal with and having somebody to answer to, which honestly, I see those things on both sides of the spectrum in terms of self-employment versus working for somebody else. Now let's talk about being an entrepreneur, because like I said, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to tell everybody else to be an entrepreneur, as if none of us will ever need other people to work for us. What are the pros of being an entrepreneur? Keep in mind, I'm speaking on this speculatively because I have not gone into business for myself. I've assisted people with starting up their companies, and I'm just around. I got friends that are doing a thing, and I'm learning vicariously through them, and it's helping me make a decision as to what I might want to do in the future. So the biggest positive I can see when it comes to going into business for yourself is there is no ceiling on your income. You make as much money as you want to make. You can make your own hours. You can accept or decline any type of contracts or any type of clients that you want or don't want. You know what I'm saying? It's ultimately up to you, which is part of the gift and the curse. I'll explain the curse side in a minute. Other benefits would include being able to write off company expenses and tax advantages and things of that nature. Another pro would be being able to pick your own hours or work where you want to work. Now, this is the gift and the curse, which is going to lead me into the cons. Now, when you go into business for yourself, you can work when you want to work, but at the same time, if you run in a business, it's damn near like a 24-hour job. Seriously. I mean, you don't have that luxury that an employee has of saying, hey, I work 9 to 5, I'm off Saturday and Sunday, at 5:01, don't say shit to me, I didn't clock out, I'm off the clock. You can't really do that. Not if you care about the company and you're trying to get it off the ground. Now, maybe later in the future when everything's on autopilot, I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know anybody that's there. If you care about your business, trust me, you're not off even when you are off. I see entrepreneurs whose businesses consume them more than a job would. If it makes you happy, then cool. Now, this is a little off topic, but I just gotta say it since it's on my mind. The book Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. This is a book that was made like 1957. They got a movie, actually they got 3 movies that's based off the book. A shout out to Jason Bodine who referred the book to me. Now look, I got it on audiobook and I still haven't finished listening to it because it's long as fuck. But I watched all 3 movies and I would highly recommend that to anybody that's actually everybody. Because if you're going into business for yourself, you'll get a taste into how it is being an entrepreneur, being a self-motivator, and dealing with the gift and the curse of being a motor of the world. And if you're an employee, a good employee, then you'll also run into some of these problems because, like I said in another video, if you working too hard and you rocking a boat, you actually care about what you do, that may cause friction with other people, because there's 2 types of people at every job. It's people who work and people who judge people who work. So if you're a hard worker and you do hold yourself accountable for your job, you actually take pride in what you do, you may experience some friction from people who just there for a paycheck and they have no sense of accountability. But that's another traffic rant for another day. I'm pretty sure I left a lot out, but I'm just starting a conversation. Actually, I'll just do these rants until I get the fuck out of traffic. Once I get close to my destination, I'm pretty much done talking. But yeah, I'd like to hear y'all thoughts. So let me know what y'all think about the pros and cons of entrepreneurship versus the pros and cons of working for an employer. Sometimes I work for myself, but I also work for others. And at this time in my life, I can gain fulfillment from doing both. So let me know what y'all think, and I'll holler at y'all in the comment section. Peace.